Hi, hello everyone. I'm Sharanigan. I'm going to talk about oil refining and carbon capture. Oil refining industry. What is the oil refining industry? Oil refining industry is the process of converting crude oil into fuels like gasoline and diesel. Crude oil is extracted from the earth. Crude oil is heated and separated into different parts through the process called distillation. It's heated and separated into different components based boiling points. These components are then processed further to make fuels like other products used in every life like petrol, diesel and LP gas. Why the oil refining industry powers much of the world transportation and economy. However, it is also one of the largest source of carbon dioxide emissions, contributing to climate change. Carbon dioxide level increase. If carbon dioxide level increase significantly in the Earth's atmosphere, it has several major effects on the world, especially because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which traps heat and it will make global warming. Carbon dioxide traps heat from the sun. As CO2 level is rise, more heat gets trapped in the earth atmosphere and extreme weather change, and it will make impact on food and water and ecosystem disruption. How to control carbon emission? Controlling carbon emissions means reducing the amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere, especially from human activities like burning fuels. Carbon capture and storage is one of the technology. CO2 is captured from the factories or power plants before it escapes into the air. And carbon utilization. Instead of releasing carbon dioxide, it is used to make products like building material for cement, plastic, and fuels, and enhanced oil recovery. And using clean energy sources, renewable energy reduce emission. Renewable energy will reduce emission. And for an example, solar power, wind power, hydroelectric power to make another way to power the power. We have two technologies to control carbon emissions on oil refining. First one is carbon capture and storage (CCS). Carbon dioxide is captured from factories or power plants before it escapes into the air. The captured CO2 is compressed into a liquid from under high pressure. It is then transported to the pipelines to a storage site, where it is injected deep underground into purpose rock formations such as depleted oil or gas fields. This keeps the CO2 trapped underground and preventing it from contributing to climate change. And second one is enhanced oil recovery EOR. Enhanced oil recovery is the method where captured CO2 is injected in oil reservoirs to help extract more oil. The CO2 mixer with the oil, reducing the viscosity. Viscosity is mean thickness and making it easier to pump out to the surface. And after the oil recovered, the CO2 can be recycled and used again or stored underground, acting as both oil recovery and carbon storage. It will help to get more uh, like petrol. These are the difference and advantages of carbon capture and storage. It reduce greenhouse gas emission. CCS can capture up 90% of CO2 emissions from power plants and industrial sources. This helps slow down global warming and climate change and support clean energy transition and removes CO2 from the atmosphere, protect jobs in key industries, long-term storage, CO2 stored underground is stable and geological formations can remain trapped for thousands of years with very low risk leakage and enhance oil recovery. Next, disadvantages of carbon capture and storage CCS. It's very high cost. CCS technology is expensive to build and operate, especially for older power plants, and energy intensive and limited storage and location. Not all areas have suitable geological formations for safe long-term storage. Very risk for leakage. While our rare CO2 leaks from storage site could harm the environment, maybe it will blast. Not a permanent it's a not a permanent solution. Carbon capture storage is a technology that reducing greenhouse gas emissions by capturing CO2 from industrial source and storing it underground. It supports the continued use of fossil fuels while helping to fight climate changes. CCS also enables negative emissions when combined with bioenergy. However, uh, it's expensive energy intensive and only suitable in area while the right geological conditions. While it can play an important role in uh, climate strategy, and it is not a complete solution its own. And next one is advantages and disadvantages of carbon capture storage. Advantages: reducing carbon emissions. Captured CO2 is injected underground and stored instead of being releasing into the atmosphere. Increase oil production. It's helped extract more oil. Uh, it can it can make a thickness, viscosity, and then if mixed highly mixed with CO2 with the petrol, and we can get pump out to the surface. It will help to the increase oil production and provides economic benefit. Selling the extra oil can offset the cost of capturing and transporting CO2. Uses exciting infrastructures, oil fields, pipelines, and equipments are already in place, reducing setup costs. And permanent CO2 storage. A large, a large portions of injected CO2 remains trapped ground under the ground after the oil extracted. And disadvantages of EOR still promotes fossil fuel and still promotes the fossil fuel use by extracting more oil, uh, more oil, or supports continued use of fossil fuels, which create more emissions. And next, the disadvantage is expensive setup, and it's a high cost for capturing, compressing, and transporting and injecting CO2. And another example, monitoring requirement. Long-term storage of carbon dioxide needs uh, constant monitoring and prevent leak. If carbon dioxide leak, maybe it will blast, so it's not safe. Next one is not a permanent solution. It reduces emission temporarily, but it doesn't uh, eliminate it in the root case. Fossil fuel dependency. It's not a permanent solution. The next one is, on my conclusion, the oil refining industry is a significant contributor to global carbon dioxide emissions, which in turn drives climate changes and environmental degradations. As a society, we must take bold steps into reducing these emissions and transition towards suitable, sustainable practice. Through our research, we explore two carbon capture technology. First one is carbon capture and storage, and enhanced oil recovery. While both offer valuable solution, carbon capture and storage stands out as the most effective and sustainable option for the long term. It allows for the permanent storage of carbon dioxide without promoting further for fossil fuel extraction. Although its internal cost and high, the long-term environmental benefits and potential for innovation make it responsible forward thinking strategy. And uh, carbon capture and storage, it's a very best for the store permanently in carbon dioxide. Reason uh, uh, reason enhanced oil recovery is supported to the petroleum, and it can also make is carbon dioxide, so it's not good for the environment. That's my own conclusion. And the next one is, I take the reference and research article from Environmental Production Agency and International Energy Agency. and much